Hi beauties, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time. I am always happy to see you, happy you're here. This video I have been meaning to put up for a while. I feel like it's been a really long time since I last filmed, and I think my last Shop My Stash I filmed almost a month ago, so it has been a while since I have filmed, but I really have been spending time the last few weeks just really focusing on the things I pulled in Shop My Stash. I'm ready to get some new stuff in there. I might go ahead and just film my update after this, but I needed and really wanted to sit down and just kind of give you my thoughts and my experience with my 1 week, 1 palette with the Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume II. So let's do that. This is my first time kind of doing something like this, pulling a palette into my stash and really just kind of focusing on this one palette specifically for a week. And I had a lot of fun. So let's give you a look at her in case you haven't seen it. This is, of course, the sort of like sister palette, follow-up palette to her Volume 1 collab with Morphe, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. This is obviously much more colorful. I mean, you still do have a decent amount of neutrals here to pull from, but definitely full of more saturated, bright colors than her first palette. This palette came out in like early 2020, I believe, either January or February of 2020, which kind of blew my mind. I feel like this has been out for so much longer than that, but as we all know, time has been just very strange these last couple years. It's one of their big 35 pan palettes. I don't remember how much it was on initial launch, but I'm sure it was affordable. I bought it on launch day. I was all about it, here for it. In case you don't know, I was, and kind of still am, so in love with her Volume 1 palette. Like, I just think that it's so incredibly nice. I still, to this day, 4 years after that palette's launch, 4 if not longer, like, it still works amazingly. Like, the mattes, the shimmers, like, I still enjoy every single look I get with that palette. It's so easy to use. So I was like super excited that she came out with another volume. Had to have it. Now, I will say this palette, after its initial launch and, you know, me using it, I probably went hard with this palette for like a week, and then just kind of, as things do in my collection, it just sort of got lost, you know? Unfortunately, that's just kind of what happens when you have like a large makeup collection. That is not a reflection on how I feel about this palette. I think that the quality of this palette it's good. Like, it's good, okay? Is it the most beautiful, like, easiest, most luxurious formula I've ever used? Of course not. Of course not. But I feel like I said, it's good quality, even considering like how saturated some of these colors are, especially like these dark maroons here, like the purples. Everything blends really well. Like, I had never used some of these dark maroons before. I did finally use those because I thought maybe if there were going to be some issues, that might be where they were. And there weren't. They were beautiful. They really were. So I don't even have anything, I don't have anything bad to say about the formula. The shimmers in these palettes, this one as well as her first one, the shimmers they're a little bit drier, okay? They're not gonna be like a super creamy, textured, metallic, like in your face shimmer. They are definitely more subdued. I always use a glitter glue with my shimmers, and even using a glitter glue with these, they're still not in your face. So if you don't use a glitter glue, they're probably going to be even more so subdued. But I don't mind that, you know, like I would say maybe half of the time, this type of shimmer is what I prefer. I don't always need something that's like wham bam, you know, like I do appreciate and really enjoy a softer shimmer a lot of the time. So, you know, overall, I can see, I personally just, my preferences at this point in time and how I enjoy doing my makeup and what I like on my face at this point in time, this is not a palette that I'm in love with, and it's not even a palette that I feel like has really a special place in my collection. And that's just me personally. Like, this is a palette I could definitely probably get rid of. And honestly, stay tuned, because I definitely, I know I keep saying like I'm feeling like decluttering, and I'm gonna get to it. But this is, like I said, this is just definitely one I can see myself getting rid of. Now, on that same note, I can also understand and I can really see how this would have like a place in somebody's collection. Like, if you are just getting into makeup and you want some neutrals, but you also kind of want to experiment with some color, a palette like this is a great opportunity to do that. And like I said, the formula on this is nice. So you're going to have a good experience playing with color. Like, you're not going to have anything that's patchy or hard to blend or doesn't show up. Like, these are pigmented as fuck. Like, they are, and they're just so beautiful. So I can absolutely see why a palette like this would be appealing to somebody. I get it. Now, so my week with this palette was a business week. Okay, it was a 5-day week. I did not do the weekends. Sometimes I'm just not feeling it. You know what I mean? I didn't like write down every single shade I used. I will tell you right off the bat, I did not use the yellow. I didn't use, what else didn't I use? I know I didn't use the yellow, at least the matte yellow. I used a couple of these darker maroons, like I said. I did not use the black. I couldn't tell you when in my life was the last time I used a black eyeshadow. I just don't. I did not use like these two shimmers here. But other than that, I think I used almost everything. I used both of like these lighter colors. I used a ton of the neutrals. I used the purples. I used a couple of the maroons. I did use this gold shimmer. And I will, of course, put my looks up that I did. The first look I did was an all matte look. I never do all matte eye looks. I just don't. I love a good shimmer. But I really liked the way that all matte look turned out. I put this shade, Therapy Sesh, all over my lid. I hope you can see that. I hope it's not getting too washed out. But this shade is stunning. It is like the most beautiful, oh, it's probably gonna get washed out. I'll insert some swatches for you guys, but it is just a stunning, like, lavender purple shade. And I put that all over my lid and it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. I loved it. I really enjoyed, I used all 4 of these neutral shimmers, of course. But this Drama Queen shade I really liked. I wore this with some of those maroon mattes I was talking about, and it really like brought out some of the red tones in this, like the reds and pinks. It was really, really, really beautiful. The gold, this Talia shade, again, like, these mattes they're just not, hang on, maybe you can get a better look at that. Sorry, I know these lights are washing it out. But see, they're just not like, they're just not the most, they're just not the most reflective shimmers that you're probably ever going to use. But you know what? Sometimes people don't need a, you know, can be seen from outer space shimmer, and that's okay. This shade in this palette, I'm in it. That was a bad finger to swatch it on. Hang on. That had the purple on it. So this shade is a gorgeous inner corner highlight. It's called I'm in it, and it just looks white in the pan, but once you put it on your eye, it almost pulls and plays off of like whatever other color you have on your eye. It's sort of like this iridescent, like pearl opal. I know it's not going to pick up good on camera. Like I said, I will insert some swatches, but it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous on your inner corner. It's gorgeous like as a brow bone highlight. Now, so overall, okay, good experience. I had a good experience with this palette. I enjoyed using it. I wasn't like dreading using it. You know how some days you're like, oh, what am I going to put together with this palette? I really did enjoy it. I will say, maybe my one gripe with this palette, well, a couple. Okay, first of all, it's just like, for me personally, I just don't need it. I just don't need it. I don't use color enough to get enough use out of this palette. And yes, the neutrals and the shimmers are pretty, but again, I have those shades like 10 times over in my collection. So it's just not like, this is superfluous in my collection. Okay. Don't need it, but enjoyed it, right? So another gripe that I have with this palette is that it is so incredibly warm leaning. It's so warm. Like, I mean, of course, aside from this little area down here, but I'm talking like even the neutrals, as gorgeous as all these are, once I get them on my eyes, like, they're just so warm. And I don't mind that. I like warm neutrals, but I just wish that there was like a little bit more variety. Even if she had some more neutral leaning mattes like this, even if these were like just a little bit more neutral, I feel like I would maybe enjoy this palette a little bit more. But because all of the neutrals pull so incredibly warm, if I am doing a neutral look, like you'll see, you know, or you probably did see when I put my looks up, that when I do a neutral look with this palette, it just kind of ends up looking the same. They're just kind of all like one note because everything kind of looks the same on my eyes. So, I mean, it was pretty. It's a look that I don't mind, but like I said, it's just kind of, there's just definitely like some redundancy in this palette is all, you know? But nonetheless, it's easy to put looks together. neutral looks as well as colorful looks, even if you just wanted to do like a neutral look with a little pop of color. It's easy to do that with this palette. It's easy to experiment with color a little bit. So those are kind of my thoughts. So overall, it was an enjoyable experience. I don't know that this palette is going to be something that I hold on to for a whole lot longer, but I'm very, very glad that I did dedicate some time and some focus to using this. It was enjoyable. Hopefully this video was enjoyable to watch. I do think I'm probably going to continue this. I probably will, when I film my stash update, I probably will go ahead and pull about 3 palettes in randomly. And then I'll choose one like I did this last time to just kind of focus on for a week. But if you've made it this far, I hope, like I said, you enjoyed. If you like beauty content in general, shop my stashes, get ready with me's, now 1 week, 1 palettes. I would love for you to subscribe, hit the like button, subscribe. It does mean a lot to me. It really does. I would love to have you stick around, come back for some more content, but until then, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, beauties.